All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. So today we're going to talk about the 3 reasons why your online coaching business isn't growing or is stagnant. So let's get into it, okay? If you haven't subscribed, click the link below so you're notified every time we put a new video out. So number 1 is that the reason why your coaching business isn't growing is because you're focused on selling volume instead of quality. So do you imagine that you have a brand that is more like Walmart or is more like Louis Vuitton, right? And this is a decision that you want to make. Do you want to sell a $100 product or do you want to sell a $10,000 product? Now, I know we can have all our money stuff come up when we talk about this, right? It's like, if people can people afford it? Are they going to pay for it? Is it fair to charge that much? But you have to think of this in terms of like whether it's actually good for you as a business owner and the impact you want to make in the world. And is it better for your client? So 2 things. Now, when Walmart came out, their whole business model is to provide to sell a lot of volume at low prices. And that's a business model that they chose, right? That they would have very skim margins, very skim profit margins, but they would just sell a lot of it. And that's how they would make money. And it's not that it hasn't been successful, correct? However, they needed to have the resources to go large, right? To have like multiple stores all across the world, in fact, in order to make the money that they make. So it's very difficult for a new business to start using that model. And in fact, the counter to that could be like a Louis Vuitton, where you're paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 and up for one bag. Or also the Tesla model, which I talk a lot about in my book, 7-Figure Coach. And it's just easy to understand how when Elon Musk created Tesla, he came out with the Model S first. The Model S was a $100,000 or more car. And so he did not come to the market with the Model 3, which is, more accessible to more people, right? Given that more people are in that middle class than in the higher class, and they're able, most people aren't able to afford a $100,000 car. So that was a business model that he chose. And the reason for that was because it was easier to make influence in the luxury car market for multiple reasons, but also he could have a higher profit margin. And that higher profit margin was actually going to help him grow the business faster because he could reinvest that profit margin right back into the business to then scale and add different products. Same with Apple. Apple did the same thing in the beginning. So I encourage you to go the luxury route, to actually create something that's higher end out of the gate. For example, a $5,000 coaching program, you only need 4 clients a month. And when you're just beginning, and if you don't have a big audience, you actually are going to need to rely on creating a very high-end transformational product that is a higher price and giving a high level of service for that, versus trying to get in front of hundreds of thousands of people and selling 1,000 people into your $200 product. Make sense? And so really understand what business model you've chosen to actually use in your business will create more success because you're able to stick to it. And it actually provides you with a good understanding of how you're going to run your business and where the money is going to come from for you to grow. Most business owners, especially women, they're just out there trying to figure it out as they go along. They're trying to just get a coaching client here or there for whatever that client will pay. And that is actually a recipe for disaster and a recipe for failure. Okay, number 2, you ready for number 2? Number 2 is that your delivery and your fulfillment requires your time. So the second reason why your business is not growing and is not gonna grow and it's gonna be stalled, stagnant, or almost dead is because the delivery, meaning every part of the fulfillment, is requiring your time. So think about the fact that most coaches, they start giving coaching sessions, correct? Like a therapist. And so the delivery of the $100 or $150 in revenue they got, or even if they sold 10 sessions, that is going to be, their time is required in order to deliver on that. And so what you want to think about here is that you have to create leverage. So you actually have to do a couple things. One is you got to get out of one-to-one sessions. Trading your time for dollars in an hour is just never going to get you where you want to go. It's not that it's bad, obviously. It's just that you're not going to be able to have enough time to get new clients, to grow your business, and deliver on the clients that you have, right? And so you got to think about leverage and putting one-on-one sessions into a group, okay? And then the second phase of that would be to also start extracting yourself from the delivery where you have assistant coaches and other people who can help you give your clients the same results. We have a whole team of coaches that work with us at High Ticket Empress. So if you structure your business where it requires your time to deliver the product or service, you'll always be maxed on time. And therefore you won't actually have the time to grow your business, to invest in, posting online if you want to do that, or setting up a funnel, or setting up a webinar that's going to bring you leads, right? When are you going to have time for that if in order to just survive and make, 5 or 8K a month, you're needing to just give sessions all day long? You're going to be exhausted and you're not going to have any room to grow. And number 3 reason why your coaching business is stagnant and it's not growing is because your lead generation is manual and it requires you being a content machine versus it being predictable and automated. And so there's nothing wrong with social media posting, and organic will never go away, right? You want to have a relationship with your audience like I'm doing here. But if your whole business relies on you having the energy to do reels and do videos and do podcasts, do content all the time, then it will also exhaust you. The whole idea of entrepreneurship, right, is that you want to be able to take yourself out of the business. That doesn't mean that you don't want to work or you're not going to do anything, but there's no way to grow if it requires you and your time. And especially as a woman, right? You have family and you want to have time with your family, and you don't want to be always thinking about the fact that you have to post new content. So you have to have a system, a predictable way to run your business. And you also need to have data and numbers that you can look at in order to see what's working and what's not working. And when you're relying on the organic algorithm of any social media platform, you're not going to have enough data to know what's working and what's not working. So if you don't have consistent lead generation and a system to bring you leads every day, you also can't hire people to support you because no one's going to understand if you have enough business in order to make them money, right? So no one wants to work with you if you don't have consistent lead generation. So they're not going to sell for you on commission, or they're not going to coach on the back end if there are not enough people, right? And the business is not viable. And so one of the main ways that business becomes viable is that they have consistent, predictable lead generation. And this is for any business out in the world, right? Walmart and Target, for example, can rely on business today. Their lead generation is constant. And so you want to get to that place too. It's not constant if it relies on you, if it relies on you creating a new post or doing a new video. All right, guys, so I hope that was helpful. Those are 3 main reasons why your coaching business isn't growing. And if you're making any of those mistakes, what I absolutely recommend that you do is really put together a business plan that has a solid business model for you to follow so that your pricing is on point and your marketing and your sales process is on point. And this is going to give you the most ability to not only grow your business for you and your family and your financial freedom, but also make the impact you came here to make as a coach, because that's why you started this in the first place. Talk to you guys soon.